Good evening. In previous session, we have discussed about data types in detail. Okay, that is in previous session we have completed the concept of dictionary. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about the concept of functions. So first, let us see what is meant by a function. Okay, so if you are going to consider, let us see the meaning of a function now. Function. So let us take a general example. Birthday function. Next, marriage function. Okay, and so on. There are many functions are there we are attending. Generally, if I ask anyone about function, they will say what I went to birthday function or I went to marriage. They will tell us. So let us see what is meant by function, why they are calling these things as a function. So birthday means what they are going to do. They have to take a gifts to the birthday, and the person who is celebrating birthday has to cut the cake, and after he has to give some sweets to the participants, and after that he has to present. Let us consider he is also giving return gifts. Okay, let us consider return gifts. After that, dinner or lunch, for example. So these are the steps that has to be followed if I am going to celebrate any birthday. What about marriage? For marriage, we are going to have what? For example, uh, groom parents has to come, and for example, I am going to consider all these things. Next, what happened? Parents of groom has to something wash legs, for example. Next, and dinner is there, and let us consider thread has to be yellow thread has to be tied to the woman, and so on. Many other things are there. Leave it. Now here the concept what we have to observe is, see here, birthday means all these things has to be done. Next, if I consider a marriage, these things has to be executed, okay, in detail. So that means in order. Some order is there if I am going to do a marriage. In the same way, if I am going to perform birthday, some order is there. For example, one person is there, Hari is there. He want to celebrate his birthday. What is the order he has to follow? This order he has to follow. And next, Venu is there. He want to celebrate his birthday. In the same way, he has to follow the same steps. In the same way, Shiva is going to marriage, for example. He has to follow these steps. In the same way, Ram is going to marry, for example. He has to follow the same steps. That means once the definition is going to be once the body is going to be defined for a birthday, everyone is going to follow the same steps. In the same way here also, if marriage is defined once, if anybody want to execute the type of marriage, then they have to do what? They have to follow the same steps. That means once if you are going to create anything, so generally we are going to reuse it. If he want to celebrate the birthday, he has to do the same things. If he want to celebrate the birthday, he has to do the same things. That means same thing is going to be repeatedly done. So the same thing is going to be reusable. This is nothing but what? Sequence of steps. They are going to follow sequence of steps, or we can call these as a block of steps. In the same way here also we are having what? Group of steps are there to perform a marriage. In the same way, group of steps has to be there to perform a birthday. So now let us see what is the concept of function in our Python, right? So let us see the definition first. Definition of function, that is, a function is a group of or block of statements that perform a specific task. Why I am going to specify here specific task means, just I will explain small example. If I am going to a birthday function, there what we are going to have, the steps are going to be related to birthday only. If I go to birthday, they will not do a marriage. Okay, if I go to marriage, there the steps are there related to marriage only. They will not celebrate birthday here. Okay, that means here the things whatever we are going to do in the marriage will be related to the marriage. In the same way, whatever the steps we are going to follow in the birthday is related to birthday only. So that I have written what here? Function is a group of statements or block of statements that perform a specific task. If I follow these statements, what I'm going to do? If I done all these steps, I can say that what? Marriage is done. Okay, our marriage is executed. In the same way, if I execute all these statements, then I can tell what? Birthday function is completed. In the same way, function in our Python is a group of statements that perform a specific task, right? So what is the use of this function? Main use of this function is it helps us to break our program into parts, our program into smaller parts, or we can say smaller modules. Okay, the main advantage of this one is what? We are going to break a large program into smaller modules, so that what happens, individual module will have a separate task. For example, I will take a big function, that is a marriage function. So in this marriage function, what I have to do? In this marriage function, generally I will take 3 tasks that has to be done. One is card printing. Okay, card printing. Before that, I have to do what? Venue fixing. Next, last one is what? Function hall booking. For example, function hall booking. So here, if I want to do the marriage, listen carefully, this is one task. What I want to perform is what? Marriage, for example. So to perform that task, how many tasks generally I have to do? I have taken only 3 here. First one is what? Venue fixing. Second one is what? Card printing. Third one is what? Functional booking. So venue fixing and functional booking is same. Okay, anyway, I will take one more task here. Okay, buying dresses, for example. Okay, these are the different tasks I have to do. If I want to complete a function called as marriage, that means what I'm going to, venue fixing will be done by my father. Card printing, my brother will see those things. Next, buying dresses will be done by me. That means what here? This is a big process. Marriage function is a big process where I am going to divide it into a sub process, small tasks. So this task is given. This task is given to father. This task is given to brother. This task is given to that particular person. That means here a large program is divided into modules. Okay. So it helps us to do what? It is going to decrease the complexity. What is meant by complexity? If I have written, if entire task has to be seen by only the father, it will be very complex. He cannot do all the things. So he may feel it as a complex thing. So if we divide a large task into modules, this module has to be done by father. This module has to be done by brother. This module has to be done by a particular person. So in this way, if you are going to divide an entire task, it will be easy to execute. So complexity will be reduced. So we are going to the concept of functions. So this is about function concept. So now let us see what are the different type of functions we are having in our Python. So first one is built-in. Okay, I will tell you the advantage of this one also. The main advantage of this function is reusability. So I will explain about this reusability when we are executing some programs. Right. Now let us see what are the types of functions. So what is meant by types of functions in our Python? We are having two types generally. Generally, we are having two types. First one is inbuilt functions. Inbuilt functions. Second one is user-defined functions. User-defined functions. So listen one thing. Inbuilt. What is meant by inbuilt? Inbuilt means already with our Python. Some methods are there with our Python interpreter. Some functions are there. So that functions will support us. If we want to perform any task, it will give this support. These functions are going to give the support to. Okay. So already whatever the functions that are present with our Python are called as inbuilt functions. Okay. So there are many functions are there with our Python interpreter, which is going to give us a support. Okay. Those are always available to the any Python program. functions are Python, the inbuilt functions are going to be available for every programmer who is going to who is going to write the any program. Okay, so now I will tell you some of the inbuilt functions. Already we have seen many inbuilt functions, but we don't know it is a inbuilt function. Now I will show you those functions which already we have done. Okay, first one is in yesterday's class we have seen what in yesterday's session, all we have seen, any we have seen, to convert a number binary I have seen, bool I have seen. These are all functions. Bytes function is there, bytes array is there, next tuple is there, next one is next one I want to convert it, list is there. Next many functions are there, chr is there. Next if I consider dict is there, in yesterday's class we have seen dict is there. Next eval is there, execute is the exec is there, and float is there. For numbers if you are going to float is there, complex is there, str is there. These are all what, these are all called as inbuilt functions. For example, if I want to convert any number to binary, let us take one small example here. So see here, I want to convert some number here. I have taken it as a some 102 I am going to take. If I press enter, automatically that number is going to be converted into binary. Who is going to give that support? Internally, bin is a function. Internally what? Bin is a function which is already present with our Python, or we can say it as a Python interpreter. So whenever we are going to write bin open bracket and closed bracket, here inside I am passing one parameter. So who is going to execute this statement? Python interpreter is going to execute this statement. So did Python interpreter knows about this bin? Yes, it is already, it's already knows about this bin function. How it knows? By default it is having it. Let us consider, if I am asking your name, can't you say your name? Yes, you can say your name. How you can say? You know already. If you don't know something which I asks, for example, so I think it is clear. Okay, here I will explain about the concept also. Here if you see this one, you can understand what all these are. What I will show you 4 or 5 functions once, so that you will get a clarity on this one. So these are all inbuilt functions. There are many other inbuilt functions are there, but just I have shown you only few inbuilt functions here. Okay, so let us discuss what is meant by inbuilt function now. So I'm going to clear this one. Right, now see, inbuilt function means already here Python interpreter is there who executes our program. Python interpreter. Okay, so this is my shell. This is my shell. Here I am going to type some binary bin of 10, for example. So if I press F5, or if I execute this statement, then the statement will be executed by our Python interpreter. So first Python interpreter has to understand this, what is meant by bin. So already internally it is having what? Bin is there. For example, oct is there. Next int is there. All is there. Any is there, and many other functions are there. For example, there are many inbuilt functions are there. So already your Python interpreter knows what is meant by bin, so that it will take that value and it will execute this function. I should not write this open bracket and closed brackets here. Just I am going to indicate this one as a block of code. So the function is going to be executed here, and it is going to return what? It is going to return you output. Okay, so as for example 1010 it is going to return. Okay, here it is completed. Next statement I am going to use is xyz of 10. I want to execute what? xyz of 10. The same statement will be sent to whom? Python interpreter. First it will check whether user has defined any xyz of 10 or not in our folder. So wherever we are going to do our program. So it is not there. So it will check whether there is any xyz program in the Python interpreter. Is there any xyz program, xyz function in it? No. That means what? It don't know what is meant by xyz, and I have not given the definition for xyz. Then Python interpreter will do what? Directly it will show that xyz, I don't know xyz. That means what? xyz is not defined. Just it will give a message that xyz is not defined. Okay, that means if I consider two persons, for example, some A and B. A and B are there. If he is going to give some work to this person, for example, please read. That means what? A person is telling to B person to read. So what is meant by read? B knows. So he will read, no problem. But A is going to tell to B that uh, carking. So A tell to B that please carking. So this particular person don't know what is meant by carking. So just question mark. So then he will do what? B will do what? Just he will reply to A that I don't know what is meant by carking. So just this person, he don't know. If he knows, he will execute. Like he executed read function. In the same way, he can execute carking function if he had, but he don't know what is meant by carking function. So what he will do? Just he will throw a message to this A that I don't know what is meant by carking. That is not defined with me. Then, for example, if that method want to be executed by this B, first this A has to tell to B that what is meant by carking. So just he will telling that carking means these are the steps or these are the statements carking means. So now this is dictated by this A to B. Now B knows what is meant by carking. If A asks about carking to this B, he can execute. Okay, this is a small thing you have to understand about the functions. See, not only our human beings, computers also same. If it knows, it will execute. If it don't knows, it will not execute. Just it will throw an error. In the same way, humans also do the same thing. So from the humans only, this concept, these type of programming languages and general things are given as the programming. Okay, right. So I think you have understood this concept. So what happens? There are many inbuilt functions. The inbuilt function is already present with our Python interpreter. So no need of defining the same functionality again, because already if I want to convert one number to binary, for example, already that function is present. So just I have to write what bin of 10. Automatically this internally bin function is going to be executed and result is going to be written. If I want to, let us consider, I want to perform an operation called as hi. I want to write a hi message. So a hi function I want to write. Is it defined in our Python interpreter? Generally, it is not defined. It is not there in our Python interpreter. So what I have to do? If Python interpreter don't knows that, I have to explain what is meant by hi. And I have to tell to the interpreter. So hi means this one. Next time, if I ask what is meant by hi to your interpreter, it will tell you. If it don't knows, if Python interpreter don't knows, how it can tell you? So that if it don't knows, I will make Python interpreter to learn from my program. So I am telling that hi means this one. So Python interpreter knows this one. Anytime if I call hi, it knows that it will execute that one. Okay. So don't worry, I will show you the examples. First, we have to understand about what? We have to understand about inbuilt functions. So all the, whatever the functions I am going to use here, see here, just I will write some one more function, float of some 20 I am going to write. So by default, it's going to print what 20.0. Who told? Internally float function is there with our Python interpreter. It is going to convert my argument to the float by default. Okay. In the same way, if I take str of some, I will write 26, 26.3 for example. So it is converted into what? String. Who converted it? Python interpreter. It knows what is meant by string. But now see, I am going to write kick off. I will say kick off something. Kick off Shiva, for example. What it is going to return? It don't know what is meant by kick. So what it is going to return? Name kick is not defined. Clearly, it is telling what? I don't know what is meant by kick. See, name error. Which name? Name kick. I don't know what is meant by kick. If you write float, if you write bin, if you write str, I know that. So that I am not going to tell I don't know that. Okay. But if you have written something, I don't know. Who is going to throw this message? Who is going to give this message to you? Python interpreter. Clearly it will give that. If you don't know, just it will say I don't know. That is nothing, but in this way it is going to tell you. Name kick is not defined. If you want to tell something to me, you have to define it first. Otherwise, if I know, I will execute. Okay, at least one of the thing has to be happened. See here, bin. What is meant by bin? Did I define that one in my program? No, I have not defined it, but already your Python interpreter knows that, so it executes that program. Next, Same thing for float. Already our Python interpreter knows, so it executed. str is known by our Python interpreter, it is executed. But key is not there with the Python interpreter. So who has to define? User has to define. That means whatever the functionality by default, if it is not present in your Python, if you want to define anything based on your requirement, then we have to go for second type of function, that is user defined function. So first concept is what? Inbuilt function. Already some inbuilt functions are there with our Python interpreter. If you want to use them directly, we can use from the Python interpreter by specifying that function name. See, function name, and compulsory this parenthesis should be there to indicate that it is a function. These things should be there. So I will explain about this function declaration, how it should be. I will explain now. I will explain the syntax of this function. So just I'm going to show you how many different type of functions are there. Later I will show you the syntax. Now, so this is about inbuilt. Now what I am now second type is what? User defined data type. So why I have to go to user defined function, not data type, functions? Why I have to go to user defined functions? Reason is, if I want to perform some task, if it is already present with Python interpreter, no problem, I will execute that one. But whatever the task or whatever the function I want to execute, if it is not present with the Python interpreter, then I have to write on my own. On my own means what? I am an user, so it is nothing but what? User defined. I am going to define some function, so it is called as what? User defined function. So user defined functions are nothing but, when we have to go for user defined functions, if our requirement is not available in built-in functions. For example, so already I have given, I want to print a hi message, so I want to greet someone, so a hi message I want to print, it is not present in our Python. So what I have to do? So if that particular function is not present with the Python interpreter, then we have to define our own function, which is called as user defined function. So now I will show you the syntax of user defined function. So from now we are going to use the concept of functions. So compulsory we have to understand how this syntax of function is there, and what are the different type of elements that are used in this function, you have to understand. Now see, so I'm going to write the general form, or we can consider it as a syntax. Keyword to define a function is def. So what I am going to define? I am going to define some function. So here I am going to write some name. Inside this I am going to write some parameter list. Parameter list. So whatever the body, that means what is meant by this one, I have to write those steps here, which is nothing but statements. So statement 1, statement 2, and so on, statement n. So I will explain each and everything, don't worry. So this is the general form of our function. What is the keyword I am going to use here? Def. So this is a keyword that indicates starting of function header. That means def indicates what? I am going to define something. What is that something? That is nothing but, here I am going to write some name. So this is nothing but a function name. So remember one thing, this indicates what? This indicates, it is a keyword which indicates start of the function header. So, and it is going to tell that I am going to define something. What I am going to define? I am going to define function name. I am going to define what? For example, hi. I am going to define hi. Hi is what? A function name. Function name can be any valid identifier. Already we know the rules of identifiers. So based on that rules, we can write any name here. Based on that rules means what? Identifier rules are there. We have seen that. So based on that rules, we can write here name. Any valid identifier can be written as function name. Now, first I don't want to discuss about these parameters. Just I want to discuss about these statements. So here what? Hi, I have defined. Now after that what? Colon is there. Colon indicates what? Colon indicates that end of the function header. That means it indicates that end of this header. Or we can say that after colon, we have to write the body of the function. What it indicates? That means after colon it indicates what? After this one, we have to write the body of the function. So this line indicates what? This line can be said as function header. So it indicates what? This def indicates it is the start of our function header. What this indicates? It is the name of the function. So parameter list I will explain later. Now colon indicates what? It is the end of the function header, or we can say that after this colon we have to write the body of that function. So just I am going to write colon here. This indicates what? I am going to define some function called as hi. In that, what I want to use? I want to print hi message. For example, I have printed what? Hi message. Now see, so this is the body of only one line is there for this hi. So whenever I am going to call hi, then what happens? The control goes to this def, that is sorry, this hi, and it will execute its body. And it will execute what? Its body. What is its body here? Hi. That means if I call hi here, what is going to printed? Hi will be printed. Once again, I'm going to call hi. What happened? Once again, it will go to this hi function and it will execute this single statement is there, so that it will execute this single statement. After executing this program, again the control backs to come back to from where we have called this function from here. So control come back to this location only. So now I am going to show you about this function. Whenever we are going to see the example, then I will discuss about parameter list, because you may not understand if I discuss directly here what about parameter, what is meant by parameter list. So I will, if you know already previous programming, any programming language, you can understand. But if you don't know, if you are not having any programming language, you cannot understand that. So that just I'm not going to discuss about parameter list now. So right now, this is a basic thing, basic what we can say syntax of our function. So this program also I will explain later. Okay, first I am going to show you all the basics of our function. So what we have to understand, what you have to understand here, first thing, def is a keyword. Next, what we have to write? Function name, any valid identifier. Better write these function names as, if I want to perform add, for example, I want to perform addition operation, better to write, if you want to add addition of two numbers, add underscore two numbers, you can write in this way, no problem. Or we can write in which way? Add capital TWO numbers. In this way also you can write. So it has to indicate what it is going to do. Compulsory, by seeing this one, I should understand what is going to be happen in that function. Better to write those type of names. So you may ask something that, sir, if I write some name XYZ, is it okay my function? Yes, it is okay. But better I am recommending you to write the names which is related to your function. If your function is going to perform addition of two numbers, if you write some XYZ, those who are using your application can understand what? They cannot understand anything. So better write related names only. It not only for functions, it may be for class, it may be for method, it may be for variable, or it may be any name. Better write a valid name. Let us consider one person is there, a human being is there. If I write his name as XYZ, is there any meaning? There is no meaning. So better write his name as Hari or some Shiva or some Venu. In this way we can write. There should be some valid name should be written for this one, for a human being. In the same way, so here better write a valid identifiers that also which are related to your function only. So after that, what a colon is there internally, I am going to write the body of this function. So right, this is about function general form, or we can consider it as a function syntax. Now the concept is already, what are the concept previously I have discussed. Once again I'm going to that. That is called as documentation strings. Generally these are called as doc strings. Generally these are called as what? Doc strings. So before going to examples, I have to explain about the concepts that are related to our functions. So first I have discussed what is meant by function. I have discussed. Next one, what are the different type of functions we have seen, and just we have seen what syntax of our function. Now doc strings. So what is meant by doc strings? Already we have seen this concept. It is going to be represented with 3 single quotes. Okay, or we can use 3 double quotes also, no problem, but generally we will use with a 3 single quotes only. So I think you have seen this concept when we are seeing comments concept. Okay, there I have used what? If you want to write a multi-line concept, you can use what? I already said you what? 3 single quotes or 3 double quotes can be written. I have told there. But at the same time, I told you that there is no concept of multi-line comments, but we are using these doc strings as a multi-line comments. I have discussed there. So now generally, what is meant by doc string? I will explain now. So in the name it says what? Documentation string. What is meant by documentation? For example, you have written for some function, you have written define hi, you have written here. There are multiple statements are there in this program. I am a new to this project. For example, I am new to this project. I don't know what is meant by this particular steps. What I don't know what it is for. So generally, what I have to say here, I have to write something. So starting of the function, I have to write something, which is nothing but explanation of the explanation of the function. I have to write this one. If I write the explanation of that function, so no need of seeing all these things to understand this function. Just by seeing this one, you can understand what is the function. Later, if you see the statements, it is easy to understand what is this code. If you don't know what is this function for, and if you see this line code, you cannot understand easily. So better whenever you are going to write any function, it is recommended to write doc strings. What is meant by doc string? Doc string is represented with a single quotes, triple single quotes or triple double quotes. Generally, we will use triple single quotes only. And what I have to tell you here means it is recommended to write for every function. So what is the use of doc string? It is going to explain. Generally, if the explanation, if I want to write any explanation, that explanation can be written inside this doc strings. Why I am calling it as doc string means it is going to explain the code. So I'm going to call it as a documentation. For example, documentation strings. In this one, whatever I am going to write in between triple quotes, it is nothing but what it will consider as a strings. So it is going to explain the document what I am going to write. So those are called as what? Documentation strings, or in a short form, it is going to call as what? Doc strings. So why it is going to be used? It is used to explain what a function does. Okay, right. So generally, it is not a mandatory. It is not a mandatory. It is not a compulsory. So it is a optional, but it is recommended. If you are going to write a doc strings in your programming, it is a good programming practice. Okay, better write this type of doc strings so that it is very easy to understand that program for you. For example, better example I will tell you. See here, one person is there. Better example. Uh, last week I think, 20 days back, I went to Paradise. There, I have ordered something which was very good, but it's a chicken item. I know that it is a chicken item. Okay, I have completed my snacks. That is what the starter I have taken. After that, I have taken biryani. So biryani, I know because it is a regular item. So I have remembered this name of this biryani. But I am unable to remember this chicken item. That is nothing but what starter I am unable to remember. That means whatever you have done before 20 days, you are unable to remember that. Okay. But if you write a program 1 month back, for example, 1 month back or 1 year back, if you see that program without having these type of explanations, can you remember what it is going to do? You may think that, sir, if it is a 2-line or 3-line program, it is easy to understand. I am not talking about 10 lines, 20 lines, or 30 lines, or 40 lines program. I am talking about if you're having a code of 500 lines or 1000 lines. If you are going to open that program, if you want to analyze that one, it will take some time to understand. So better go to this type of doc strings. So what happens once if you open this file 500 lines code, then here doc string is there. So by reading that one, you can understand all the code. If I save this one, let us consider I have I'm unable to remember after 20 days. If I save this one in my phone, for example, I'm telling in my reminders, as this item is very good, I have saved in my reminder. So next time if I come to Paradise, I have to eat the same item. But I don't know whether I remember that name or not. So I will write what here? In my reminder, I will write that chicken tikka. Chicken tikka in paradise will be good. So that next time when I went to this paradise, I will open my reminder and see that, so that I can remember the name. In the same way, here, this is for example only, okay, don't mind. So here what I'm going to do, to remember the things, I am going to write some explanation about that one. That is nothing but what? Doc strings. It is going to represent it with single quote, single triple quotes, or uh, single quotes, sorry, triple single quotes or triple double quotes. But generally used is what? Triple single quotes only. But if I ask you about doc strings, generally the definition is doc string is a string directly which the statement that is written inside a, what can I say, this one, function. Doc string is a string that is going to be returned inside a function as a first line. As a first line. So compulsory, if I write something here that is called as a doc string with three single quotes, triple single quotes, and closed with triple single quotes, that is what? Doc string. You may get some doubt that, sir, if I write something here, three single quotes and three single quotes here, will it not become a doc string? Generally, it is a doc string, but the definition of doc string is if the string that is written inside a three single quotes and three double quotes as a first line of our function, then it is called as doc strings. There will be no error. If you use this one anywhere, no problem. If you use as a first line, or if you use in middle, no problem, but they will call this one as a doc strings. Anyway, officially we have to write here, but if you want to write in middle also, we can write, no problem. It is not a matter. So just I will write a small code for this one. So I want to show you what is meant by doc string. So see here, I am going to write a small function here. uh, def hi, I am going to write. So this program is for what? This program is for printing hi message. Hi message. If I want to write the time, date, and everything, you can write here. This program is written on 6/10/2020 at 6:38 39 p.m. For example, I want to write everything in detail. So my explanation is completed. Okay, let us consider I want to write this one in second line. So in second line, I'm going to write, and here what happened, or you can write here. Okay, anyway, here I'm going to write, okay, my explanation of the program is completed. I want to write my statement. Just I'm going to write print hi. You can write a number of lines. As this is a small example, I'm going to write only one line. So my function is completed. Okay, just I'm going to store this one as what I have written. My function name is what? Hi. So why I'm returning my function name as hi? Reason is I'm going to print hi message, so that I have written hi. You can write any name, no problem, but better to write related names. So now see, there is one function called as hi. So this explains what? This is called as a doc string. This explains what? So this program is for printing hi message, so that no need of seeing all these statements. Directly by reading this doc string, I can understand what it is. Okay, right now I want to write some other thing. Print hello. Print hello, I want to write. So here I can write what? The program is for hi message, comma, hello message. I want to write here. Otherwise, if you want to write a separate message, okay, I will not write here. I can write it here, no problem. Okay, this line is for what? That means what? Here, if you are going to write, you are going to specify for a particular line only, for particular statement only, for printing hello. Okay, completed. Explanation is completed. So if you write at the top of anything, that indicates what? It indicates for entire method. If you write it here, it may be specific to that particular statement only. So that generally for a doc string, they have given definition that whatever this string that has been written with a three single quotes at the starting first line of our function, that is called as a doc string. This can also be called as doc string, no problem. But as per the definition, it should be in first line. If I execute this program also, we are going to get the output. Just I have to call which function? Hi function. How to call? Just write hi. So when I call hi, your Python interpreter, the program will be executed by our Python interpreter. So I am calling what? Hi. So your Python interpreter don't know what is meant by hi, because it is not present with your Python interpreter. It is not a built-in function. It is what you. So if it is not a built-in function, it will check in our program. Is there any high here? Yes, it is there. So that your Python interpreter will execute this one. Whether it has to know or you have to tell to it. You don't know what is meant by high. So I am telling what is meant by high here. So it will execute this code now. So see, there will be no effect for these doc strings. Just it is only for the user flexibility or to increase the readability of the program. So by seeing that, what is going to be happen, user can easily understand what is about that program. Okay, so it's a small program which explains our doc string. And one more point, very important point I have to discuss. So just okay, this is about doc string. I'm going to uh, end this concept. Okay, before going to this one is okay. Anyway, one more important point is there here. So that important point is, if you want to see the doc string of any particular function, for example, what is the doc string of this particular function? Already I told you, only first line it is going to consider. So this is a doc string of this function. It will not be considered as the doc string of this function, because already I told you, according to the definition, what only the first line of your function is considered as what doc string. So to see the doc string of a particular function, what I have to write, I am going to have a variable called as underscore underscore doc underscore underscore. Okay, if I write in this way, what happens? It is going to print, see here, it is going to print the doc string of high function. The doc string of high function. What is the doc string? This is the doc string. It will not act as a doc string, okay, as per the definition. So now see what happens. Hi hello is printed generally, and it is printed as what? Doc string is printed. How it is printed? Because I have written what? Hi dot underscore underscore doc underscore underscore. Okay, right. So why here space is given? If you want for doc string, there is no problem. If I write here doc string also, for doc string is no problem. If I execute this one also, 1 minute. Second line it takes, will not take 1 minute. Okay, let us try with this. Again, it is going to give you indentation problem. So compulsory, what has to be taken? Compulsory, there should be indentation for our function. That means why indentation should be given? Already this concept was discussed in control statements. So if I'm not going to write, if I'm going to write in this way, listen carefully here. Here, what you are going to write? Colon. Colon indicates what? That means I am telling that I am going to define something about this high, so that it will see something has been written or not. If something has to be written for that high, it has to be written only with the tab space, which is nothing but 4 spaces, or we can consider it as a what? Indentation. So now why indentation is compulsory here? Reason is I want to write some steps. These are all the steps I want to write under this high. So, and how it can identify. So whatever the tab spaces are there, up to that particular last indented line, it is going to consider that particular all statements are belonging to this high. So see here, indentation is there, indentation is there, indentation is there, indentation is there. Here also indentation is there, but in this line, no indentation. That indicates up to here only the function is. So whenever I am going to call high, from here first the program starts execution here, control goes to this high. Okay, so it will start executing from here. So print, it will print high, it will print hello. So what happens here? Function is ended. So what happens? Control comes to here. Okay, because this line is executed, control comes to here and it will execute what? High dot underscore underscore doc means what is going to be printed? This message is going to be printed. This is about doc strings. Okay, so as I have shown you here, calling a function also I have shown you. Okay, what is meant by calling a function? If I want to call this function, okay, what I have to call? What is the name of that function? Hi. If I call, let us there are 2 persons in a class. I am having some 2 persons are there, or some, for example, 60 persons are there. So name of this one is Shiva, Hari, Venu, and Sita, for example. If I want to call this particular person, what I have to call? I have to call his name as Venu. When I am calling Venu, who is going to respond? This particular person is going to be responded. When I call Shiva, who is going to be responded? This person is going to be responded. That means if I want any particular task to be done, I have to call its name. Now I want to execute a messages that are hi and hello. Where those are present? Those are present with hi function. So just I have to call it with this name, with its name. That is what? Hi. Just if I call hi, open bracket and close bracket, just automatically the control goes to this particular function and it will execute all these things. So now here I want to show what is the advantage of these functions. That is what? Reusability. Reusability is nothing but, okay, reusability is nothing but, see here, I want to print hi and hello once, so I will write here. If I want to print hi and hello next time, so what happens? Generally, if I'm going to use print statements, two statements, hi hello has to be written once, hi hello has to be written twice. But here just I'm calling hi. By calling this hi, two lines are going to be printed. Okay, anyway, I will not make the thing complex. Just I will write one more function. Okay, add I am going to write. Okay, right, add function I am going to write. Here I am going to take some variables, a equal to 10, b equal to 20 I am going to take, and c equal to a plus b I am going to write. Now I am going to print sum. I am going to print sum is, just I am going to write what? C. Now whenever I want to perform add of two numbers, which is nothing but 10 comma 20 only, just I will call add. So output will be what? Sum is 30. Once again I want to execute the same function. That is what, once again I want to add 10 and 20 only. Again just I have to call what? Add. If there is no function, what I have to write? If there is no concept of functions, this entire code has to be written once. See here, this entire code has to be written once if I want to print one time. Second time, if I want to print once again, what I have to write? Again, I have to use the same code. Multiple times I have to write the same thing. Okay. If there is no concept of functions, every time I have to write those statements when I require. So if there is a function concept, what happens here? So just I will call whenever I require that function, just I will call add. Second time I will call add. What is the output of this program? First time this will be executed. Second time also same function is going to be executed. So you can see the answer. That is what? Sum is 30. Sum is 30 because I have called it two times. So it executes two times. Now some people may get some doubt that, sir, why always calling the addition of two numbers? I want to add my own numbers. I want to add my own numbers. Then what I have to do? For that, if you want to uh, do the task with different variables. So here what happens if I call first time add, it is going to perform with the addition of two numbers. That is nothing but 10 comma 20 only. If I call second time also, it is going to execute 10 comma 10 and 20 only. But now I want to execute addition of any two numbers. Any two number means I don't know what I will pass, but whatever the numbers I am going to pass, that has to be added and result has to be printed. That means what I have to do? Then I have to go to arguments, or we can say it as a parameters. Okay, listen carefully here. Just I will take two parameters here. No need of writing these steps here, because whenever I am going to call this function, at that time I am going to receive the parameters. So see, just I want to add. What you want to add? Tell me. 10 comma 20. So next I want to add, next two numbers are, I want to add 50 and 60. Okay, it will take, no problem. Here add of 10.5 comma 25.6 I want to add, no problem. So just here I will write sum of what are the values? A and b. Just I have to write is here. Is, it is going to print what? It is going to print the output. Now see, if I am going to execute this one, what happens? First, who is going to call add? Add of 10 comma 20. So 10 will be passed to A, 20 will be passed to B, and internally what happens? C equal to A plus B. That means 10 and 20 is going to be added, and output is going to be printed as what? Sum of 10 and 20 is 30 is going to be printed. In the same way, next time what happens? Add of 50 comma 60. So these arguments has been passed to these parameters. These are called as parameters. Okay. So the 50 is going to be stored in A, and 60 is going to be stored in B. Now it will execute what? 110 is going to be printed. Next, what happens? 10.5 will be passed and 25.6 is going to be passed. So if there are arguments, we can customize the task with our own variables. If we are having arguments, or we can get, if I am having the concept of parameters, then what is going to be happen here? Here we can customize. If there is no concept of arguments, then what I have to do? Internally, I have to take the arguments as we have seen in previous example. So for every function call, same thing is going to be executed. Default output is going to be printed generally. So whenever you want to perform a operation with your own variables or with your own data, then I have to go for parameter passing or argument passing. Now see, what will be the output? You can see the output as what? Sum of 10 and 20 is 30, sum of 50 and 60 is 110, and so on. If you want to write n number of sums also, no problem. Let us consider if I want to perform 100 additions, generally what I have to do? Every time I have to write these two lines. If I want to perform 100 lines, 100 time additions, 100 into 200 lines it becomes. I have taken only small function. For that small function only, if I am going to perform 100 times, it becomes what? 200 lines. But if I write this function here, and if I call 100 times, 100 lines will be there for calling this one, and only 3 lines are there here. Total, how many lines are there? 1 or 3 lines are there. That's it. The code is going to be reduced. And that means what? Here the same code is going to be readable. That means what? The same code is going to be executed regularly. That means readability is going to be increased, and time is going to be decreased, and code length is also going to be decreased here. So I am going to take only 2-line code. If I am going to write a 100-line code or 1000-line code for a function, okay, then what happens? If I want to execute same code 100 times, then if there is no concept of functions, your size of your code will be 1 lakh lines without functions. If a function contains 1000 lines, if I want to use that function 100 times, if there is no concept of functions, 1 lakh lines has to be written in your program. But if there is a function, just 1000 times, 1000 lines has to be written there in a function, and 100 lines for calling of that function. Totally 1100 lines is enough to call that one. Where 1 lakh, where 1100. Okay, this is the concept of your parameters. So when we have to go for parameters, if I want to perform a operation on my own data, different data, then I have to go for these parameters. If I want to perform same task for everyone, every call, if I want to perform same task, then no need of going for your parameters. Okay, right, this is about parameters. And here we have observed what? Function calling. This when I write this statement, this indicates what? I am calling this function, so that the control goes to this function and it will execute these statements and it will come back to this statement. Next line. Next, what happens? Again I'm calling add only. Again the control goes to add function. The statements of add is going to be executed, and again after completing this line, again it will come back to here. How your interpreter knows that only function ends here? Because this line is indented line. Next line is what? Non-indented line. That means only the definition of this function is up to this line only. It can understand. Okay, right. Now I want to write one statement inside a function. For example, I want to write inside a function. Just I am going to write here inside a function. So now what happens? Just I want to call one time this function. So see, just I will execute this one. So when I'm calling this function, it is going to execute. You have to observe one thing. Why this inside a function is executed? Reason is here I have called what? Add of 10, 20. So that first it executed C equal to A plus B. Next it executed this statement. Next it executed inside a function. For example, if I remove this space here, is it a valid thing or not? It is a valid. It is a 100% valid. But the statement is not belonging to your function. Now the output will be what? Output will be inside a function. First it will print now. In previous output, what happens? In previous output, sum of 10 and 20 is printed first. After that, inside a function is printed. Because in before example, inside a function belongs to function. Okay. Now what happens? This line is not belongs to your functions. How you can say that it is not belonging to your function? Reason is here there is no indentation. So we can say that it is not belonging to your function. So now what happens? First statement that is going to be executed is what? Inside a function. Later only sum is going to be printed. You can understand that one. Okay. So this is about indentation. Now, very important point I want to tell. The point is, every time, let us consider, I will take a small task here so that you can understand clearly. Here, I am one person, owner, I am owner, and my worker is there here. So every time what I am telling means, okay, submit some documents. Okay, submit my documents in some bank. Submit my documents. So every time I'm telling what, do something, do something, do something to my worker. What he will do? He will do the task. That's it. He will do. No problem. He will do. He will do. Every time what I am telling, he is going to do. So once owner think that he want to see what this worker is going to do. Listen carefully. Owner is giving generally tasks to this worker. Every time what he is telling, okay sir, my task is complete. I have done. I have done. I have done. But once owner want to see the work that has been done by our worker, then what has to be done? Owner is going to ask, I want your result. So he has to return what? He has to return back the work. Whatever he is going to do, that has to be returned to the owner. So when if he is going to call this particular worker to do something, he will do and he will go. But now what happens? Owner also wants that answer or some work to be seen for this by this owner. So what he has to do? Worker has to return that to the owner. Why worker is going to return to only for this owner? For example, here one more owner 2 is there. Owner 2 and he is the same worker under this owner 2 and owner 1 is there. He is the only one worker under this owner 1 and owner 2. So owner 2 has given one work called as printing work, and owner 1 has given some painting work, for example painting work. So the result of painting has to be returned to whom? Owner 1 only, because he has given the work. So that return of this painting should be what? To this owner 1 only. Who has called this worker for printing? Owner 2. So the result that has to be given by this worker to the owner 2 is what? About this printing 2 only. So this worker will not give what is it, painting work to this, that means what, result of this painting to the owner 2. In the same way, he will not return printing work to the owner 1. Those who are going to call to them only, return is going to be executed. So see here, A, Hari, Venu. Okay, here Shiva. So Shiva is telling to Hari, go and bring your book. Shiva is telling what? Go and bring your book. So he will go and he will bring the book and he will return to whom? Shiva. Because he is calling this Hari, so that he has to return the book to whom? Shiva only. If Shiva is calling to Venu, go and bring your water bottle. So he will bring the water bottle and he will give to whom? To Shiva only. Why he is giving to Shiva? Because he asked him to bring the water bottle. Okay, that means to whom we have to return? Those who are calling us. We have to return something to them only. That is, now what happens here? Every time if I execute the program, who is going to print this output? This output is printed by add only. But here, whenever those who are executing that, I want to see that output. That means what? Here also I will write print of something. I'm going to write here. I don't want to print here. For example. Now what I have to do? Who is calling from this line? I am going to call this function. So just I want to return the answer to that particular line. So if I write return, see what happens means. First what happens? Add of 10 comma 20. That means this from here I am calling this add, so that it is going to perform some task. So return C means what? To whom it is going to return? Those who have called that function, to them it is going to return. That means C will be written in the place of this add of 10 comma 20, because from here I have called this add of A comma B, so that it will return whenever something is written by this function. To whom it will return? Who has called it? From this line, we have called this add of a comma b. So here in the place of this add of 10 comma 20, c will be placed. Okay, let us see. C value is what? It is nothing but 30. So answer is what? 30 is going to print it, because inside this I have not written anything, just I am going to print what? Just the value. So return means what? Return is a statement. Already we have seen this return statement in jump statements, in control statements. In the concept of jump statements we have seen. So whenever we are having the concept of return, it is going to come out of this function. See, observe this one. Whenever there is a return, we are coming out of this function and we are going to other statements. So whenever we are going to encounter a return statement, then it is going to exit that function and go back to the place from where we have called it. So when I say return, see what happens. From where we have called, from this place we have called, so that it will come back to this particular line. Okay, this is a small example about your return. So in next session we will see some of the examples for this return also. Okay, thank you.